Alright, folks, this video is about white people killing black folks. So, this has been happening since I don't know when, right? But recently, it's been a surge of white people, let me not say the K word, been taking black people's lives. Grown, the black men, if anything. Now, a lot of people don't have, I guess, natural instincts, as I should say. So, when we was growing up, I mean, still growing up now, right? Until you just, I guess, die or whatever. But we knew, we had a sense of instincts, right? Like they call it spider sense, but in reality, it's an instinct. So when you get a feeling when you knew something wasn't right or something bad was going to happen, right? So that's what it was with us. So I remember, I don't even know anyone told us this. We just had this. I don't know. It's just like we just knew. No one told us this, so we knew to never go hunting with white people. We knew that. Now, matter of fact, no one told. We just knew that, right? I guess it just didn't make sense, and we just knew, I guess, self-consciously that it was evil within that situation. So as far as I know, I don't remember anyone ever telling me that. We just knew. Never go hunting with white people. And you still have some people who do it to this day, and they end up, meeting their demise. But now you just have white people just taking black guys' lives on fishing trips, whether they're going fishing, whether they just riding the boat, whether they going, they going to a lake. So this is the thing. I'm watching the videos, and some of them, they interview their parents, some they don't. A sense of denial, right? So I'm gonna say this. I don't know all of them, but as far as the fathers, these can't be just like legitimate black fathers, right? They'll tell their kids what's going on. Normally, when stuff like this happens, it's mostly because of the mom. The mom doesn't tell them anything. They just, because they want them to be accepted by white people, so they just act like everything is perfect when it's not. No matter what side of town you're on, what city you're living in, whatever, right? Just because you say somewhere and it's middle class or upper class or you're dirt poor, it happens in every single class. So if you think that you're saying somewhere middle class and everything's great, no, because these murders are happening in middle class communities. Not saying it doesn't happen in the dirt poor or the higher up, but these are happening in the middle class society, in these communities. So, they tend to have both parents in the house, all that type of stuff. So it's still happening. So a lot of times, with the black moms, they'll move somewhere with middle class and they think life is perfect. No, you still have racism. You have racism in every level in life, whether you're dirt poor, you're middle class, or you're upper class. So I already know majority of the time they're raised by, single mama. They're a single parent, their mama. And because their mom's not going to teach them how to survive, how to survive in the real world, right? Everything they go off of is emotion. So again, it's not necessarily the mom's fault, because I also saw videos of where they interview both the parents, they was together. It's just you'll have these people, these black people, that think, okay, well, we just move over here, or we get this kind of car, or we get this kind of job, then life will be great, everything will be perfect. No, racism always gonna be around. I'm focusing on black people because this is the topic. I'm not worried about Mexicans and Asians and Africans, because it happens with them as well. The only thing about it is they ignore it. They ignore it because they want to be included into the white society. You also have black people as well. That's well, really brown. Let's be honest, browns. I don't know why people are saying black. Black is normally targeted towards the Africans, and not even all the Africans. Not even black. It's only certain countries in Africa where it's actually black people there, like they're actually black. But for the most part, we're brown. So stop saying brown. We're not black, bro. We're brown. Like, look at us. We're brown. Like, either light brown, you're dark brown, you're whatever, but you're brown. So I just gotta put that out there. It doesn't make any sense. If you stand next to a black object, you can tell that you're not. This. Come on, man. Use common sense. But that's just us, just carrying on the BS that the white people have been putting out there. So anyway, you're not fucking black. You're brown. And if you is black, you're black. Cause you'll be black. It's not so. It's a lot of people, you know, billions of people around the world, but it's only a certain amount that's actually black. You know, you got people in India. You know, I see photos. They straight black. They got people that's just straight up black. And you have a small group of people in Africa. You know, and there's a lot of countries that they're actually black. Other than that, you're brown, bro. It's like it's a very small amount of actual black people compared to everybody else. So stop saying you're black when you know damn well you're not black, you're brown. But anyway, moving forward, the only difference between the black Americans, well, the brown Americans, and then every other race group of people, they tend to ignore it. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them, they do tend to ignore the racism because they want to be included, they want to be accepted by the white man. But anyway, so regardless, you need to tell your kids, if you're a brown person, you need to tell your kids that life is not perfect and a majority of people are gonna hate you just because of your skin tone. That's it. That's really what it is. So we always heard this: never be the only one. Now you have some people, they want to be the token friend. You know, they'll shove off, they'll scoot off the other groups of people because they don't want to be the only. They don't want it to be multiple Asians in that friends group, right? The quote unquote, which is not friends, in the friends group. They don't want it to be multiple Hispanics in the friends group, because typically when that happens, they're gonna be themselves, right? So when you're dealing with them kind of people, the token friend, they're trying to assimilate themselves to the white culture. So guess what? They're already doing stuff to make it seem like they're white, even though they'll never be white. So if they have a group of Asians, guess what? More than likely, them Asians are gonna do what? They're gonna speak in their own language. They're gonna wear their own clothes. You know, they're gonna represent who they are. They're not gonna pretend to be white, because the more you have of them, more than likely they're gonna be themselves. So if you have like 3 or 4 Mexicans, more than likely if it's 4 of them, right? More than likely 3 out the 4 are just gonna be straight up Mexicans. They're gonna just be themselves. That's what I'm saying. They're gonna be, because there's nothing wrong with, you know, who they are, right? Mexican, Asian, Jamaican, whatever, it don't matter, right? But what I'm saying is, I gotta repeat myself because somebody gonna take it wrong. What I'm saying is, if you have 4 Mexicans in the group of friends, the fake ass friends, right? And the rest of them are white, 3 out of the 4 Mexicans are gonna be themselves. They're gonna speak a little Spanish here and there. They're gonna talk about their culture, that's what they're gonna do. Now that one Mexican friend, a fake one, they're gonna try to be white. They're gonna try to change their voice. They're gonna try to change their pattern of speaking. They're gonna try to wear a certain kind of wardrobe. You know what I mean? They're gonna do their hair a certain way because they're trying to blend in. So that's why a lot of them, the token friend, they don't want their other people to come with them, because more than likely, the more of them in a group, they're gonna be themselves. They're not gonna try to pull that fake stuff. So that's why they try to keep them other ones away, because they're gonna mess up what they're trying to do. They're trying to blend in. So this is reality. So you do have that. So even though the parents may have taught the kids to, hey, be careful out there, don't trust everybody ain't your friend, you do have some that's rebellious, right? Like, oh, you don't want me to have friends, it's okay, they're nice, I knew them for a couple of years. So you do have kids like that. Not saying that these young gentlemen had done that. They was told to watch out, and they just went against it anyway. But you do have some who think that's like, okay, everything's okay, I got white friends, they're never gonna harm me. You do it because they're just naive, right? That's what it is. Keep in mind, all of them are young, so not all of them are naive, but you do have the ones that's naive, right? So I'm gonna say this: more than likely, the parents or the parent, the mama, didn't teach them social awareness, right? The survival instincts. They just went, we'll just move middle class and everything will be okay. We want to deal with racism. No, that's how dumb they are, right? Because they mamas, they want to be with a white man. They want to be accepted in white society. That's just real reality. So it's sad that what happened to these young men, but it's been happening for the longest. Like, as far as I can remember, the only thing that we was worried about was the hunting part. It's just something that makes sense. It's like, nah, I'm okay. But again, non-whites, we're not into killing animals all the time. I'm not saying other people don't hunt. We hunt, but we all know white people, specifically white men, they've been killing since they was 2. That's just reality. That's why I say they've been killing for so long that at a certain age they get tired, they get bored of hunting animals, so they want something else that's gonna satisfy their hunger for murder. So what's next? What's on the highest food chain in the world? It's gonna be us. So they took down every animal they possibly take down, legally or illegally. Because let's be honest, they don't care if it's illegal or not. They hunt down bald eagles. They go into Africa, taking down these elephants. All this stuff is illegal to the point where Africa finally got on code with it. They started adjusting that. So now if you go out there in Africa, you hunt these animals that's protected. Oh, they gonna string you up. I didn't watch video. They're gonna string you up right then and there. So you go out there if you want to think you're doing something. If they catch you, you ain't coming back. You ain't coming back. So you get what I'm saying. I already told you guys what's gonna happen. You get caught out there, they gonna string you up. That's a wrap. You ain't gotta ever worry about coming back, being late for work. You ain't gotta worry about getting that promotion. No. If you get caught out there illegal hunting, that's it. That's your last time being alive. That's a fact. So anyway, not saying because everybody hunt. That's just part of life, right? Well, every culture, every group of people hunt, right? But white men, they've been doing that since they was 2. They dad didn't put a firearm in their hands before they can walk. So they've been doing that for 15, 20 years, and they already satisfied their hunger for murdering things. So now they want something that's even greater because they want something different. So they're gonna go after humans. So when a white person takes someone's life, they'll never feel remorse about it because they already been programmed to not feel anything when they take something off this earth. They started with animals, so they are used to that. So whenever you watch a story or you hear a video, whatever, and a white person life has been taken, look at the suspect. Normally they'll take out their grandma, their grandpa, right? That's known that they'll do that. But look at the suspects. Whenever they involved in a murder case, look at the subject. They never feel sorry. They never cry. They never feel bad. They just like, it's just another day in the neighborhood. Because they've been doing that since they was very young. So that's why whenever people say, oh, white people don't never cry when their mom or their grandma died, but they cry when their dog died. Yeah, because white people don't see people, they don't care about people. They don't have emotions when it come down to someone passing away. They don't care about that. But yeah, let their little dog die, they boo-hooing, crying, trying to sue the government and all this stuff like that. Yeah, because they've been programmed to not care if a person dies. They don't have that in them. They don't have that in them. So guys, I'm gonna say this right now. No matter how long you've been with this white person or white group of people, you cannot trust them. Hell, me, I don't trust nobody. But that's just what it is, and I'm gonna say this right now. This happens so many stories. When it's one of them, they commit the crime, they not gonna feel bad for you. I already said that. But this is the kicker. If it's a group of them, same thing applies. I watched one video, it was a black guy, he was down bad, and he was sleeping around with this fatback white chick. And the friends of the fat guy, they jumped him and they took his life, they threw him in a ditch or something like that. His quote unquote girlfriend, she helped them get rid of the body. I'm like, damn, that was your boyfriend, right? So she literally helped them dudes dump the body and didn't care whatsoever. And then they found out, I think like a neighbor or somebody saw him or something like that. And then they reported to the police, and then the police found out, it was them. And the girl, they never called the police enough because she helped them. Nothing, like they just dumped his body and then they just carried on about their day. I tell you guys all the time, man, white dudes, they have a thing about their women, well not their women, because again, she was dating a black guy, but white dudes have a thing about black guys sleeping with white women. And majority of the time, they not even dating them. It's just the fact that, oh, he's with a white woman. That's just what it is. So those other 2 guys got mad because he was over there bending over, a well, and they couldn't handle it, so they went over here and took the dude's life, and then she helped them dump his body. I'm like, damn. I'm like, well, there you go. That's what happens. But that's the truth. So them guys that died in those fishing, boating trips or whatever. Remember, it was so many white people there at those events, and nobody's seen anything. Because they'll get on code when it come down to take somebody's life because it's already programmed in them to like not feel anything when they take somebody's life. It's like a switch in their heads where it's like, okay, we about to take somebody's life, they turn the switch off. Emotions, they turn it off. And then they go ahead and do their deed, and then they turn the switch back on and carry on like nothing happened. Because people was trying to find out what happened. I'm watching the videos, I'm like, dude, it's like 500 white people there, and there's only one black dude there, and nobody know what happened to him. This is what it is. They just liked it. They just get together when it's time to create chaos, and then once they done with the chaos, they literally go back to their normal life like nothing happened. It's like they get back online and playing video games and get back to studying like nothing happened. So you guys have to understand that. It's like you want to over here try to convince them that, oh, you don't have to be, no. They're programmed to be like that. There's so many, mass killings that these people have done over since the beginning of time until now. Every time I watch a video when they in court or getting it, they never feel sorry, bro. They don't care nothing about that. They just, all right, it's another day in the neighborhood. And then they either get prosecuted or they don't. But other than that, they don't care. The matter of fact, the white dude killed the black guy on the train. I'm pretty sure he was homeless. He probably was on drugs or whatever it came to be, but the dude ended up killing, taking his life. He just put him in a chokehold and never let go. He took his life, and they went to court, and the court dude didn't get prosecuted like that. The whole time I'm watching the videos, he didn't have a care in the world. He didn't shed one tear. He was like, all right, whatever. It's like he just stepped on a bug or something. That's how they are. And that's the thing I said, the thing about this too, because the brown people, they'll speak up about it. You got the Asians, you got the Mexicans, they won't say nothing, bro. They just go ahead and just sweep it on the rug. Maybe they do have stories out there, but the media, they won't promote it because that's not the narrative they want to push out. But I'll say this right now, if it happens in their community, they won't say nothing. They'll probably feel a little sorry or whatever like that, but they won't go out there trying to get justice. They won't do that because they want to be accepted in the white society. So if they do that, they're gonna be like, oh, well, they won't like us. They don't like you already, dumbass. That's why they taking y'all lives. That's why they putting laws in place to get rid of y'all. So, but that's their own issue. I don't give a fuck about that. That's their own issue, but that's just the case. So whatever you guys got going on, don't be the only one there. Don't be the only one there, because they're already doing it. If it's just you and the white person, yeah, they'll try to take your life. And best believe, if it's more of them, they'll encourage them even more to do that, because that's just how they program. Now, you're going to have some people that can be like, oh, no, that's not me. Really? Really? Because if it's 10 other white dudes at a bar and all of a sudden they get into it with a black dude, will you render aid? Meaning, would you try to stop it? Would you try to protect him? Would you try to call the police? Or would you just sit there and watch it and they end up, take the dude's life, and then next thing you know, when the cops show up, you be like, oh, I ain't see anything, I don't know anything. You part of the problem. Y'all act like because, oh, I'm not the one who fired that gun, I'm not the one who threw that bomb in the building, I'm not that one that shot up a whole school, that I'm not one of them. No, you one of them. Because you're one of them because you didn't do anything to help the situation. You didn't do anything to help get justice. You just went along with the program. The first thing you're gonna say, well, it's not me, and then y'all let this stuff happen. There's so many stories I watched where it happened. So that's because you wasn't the one who actually did the crime. That don't mean that you're a good person. You're a terrible person as well, because you have all the evidence, you have the proof, you're a witness, but you didn't step forward and then get that family justice for what happened to their son or their daughter. So you part of the problem too. That's why we can't trust none of y'all, because you guys will do that with no problem. It's happened so many times. Every time something happened, oh, I don't know what happened, or I don't know, I wasn't there, or you just roll it, you just brush it off and go about your day. But if that was your little son or your nephew, you be having video footage, everything. You be ready to fight for your rights. But if it's a non-white person, you be like, oh, I ain't see anything, I don't know, that guy caused it first, and that's it. That's how y'all go about y'all life. As long as it's not y'all don't give a F. Y'all really don't. No matter how severe the crime, it's so many stories I know about, but I'm not gonna stretch the video longer than what it has to be, but that's the honest truth. If you're a non-white person, never be the only one. Never be the only one. Because I can guarantee you, damn near 100% that they're gonna overlook it. No matter how long, y'all think y'all been knowing them for so long, they don't change a killer. They don't change a killer. That killer is still a killer. That's a fact. And you cannot out racism a person. They gotta want to do that on their own selves. Y'all think when y'all hang around them all the time, y'all invite him everywhere, that y'all gonna try to change his ways, like the damn the tellers do all the time. Oh, I'm just gonna be around him all the time, and then he'll eventually start liking me. I'm black. No, you idiot. No. And then y'all hear about how these black females get knocked out by the white dudes all the time, and they still chasing after them. So whatever you think you're doing is not working, because at the end of the day, they just using you for easy sex, and then you take care of them, you tricking on them hard. And then they gonna just stay with you until they come up. They look for a white woman. They only with you because they can't find a white woman. Y'all know this though. But anyway, yeah, don't never ever be the only one. And the last story I'm gonna put out before I end the video, it was a black guy. A brown guy. He was in the Marines or something like that. He was Marines or the Air Force. He was in the service, and he was hanging out with I think it was a Mexican one of his Mexican homeboys. They went to some random ass bar. And anyway, the Mexican dude got into it with the white guys at the bar. So anyway, the black dude they went outside, the black dude trying to break it up, and some random white dude sucker punched the brown guy, the guy that's in, I think he's in the Navy or something. Don't hold me to it, but he's in one of them services. Sucker punched the brown guy and he ended up hitting his head on the curve or something like that on one of them parking lot blocks, the little block is normally yellow. He ended up hitting his head and he failed. It was a fatal bump to his head, and he died instantly. And then nothing happened. Nobody pressed charges on a little scrawny white dude, nothing. They just went on ahead and dropped the case and carried him all this day. You think that Mexican dude gave a fuck about that brown dude getting murdered? No. He went on about his day. He went on about his day. He wasn't no, I feel sorry for him, nothing like that, or please pray, none of that, bro. They don't care. They don't care. Like I said, you just there just to keep him company. If the friends he really want is the white dudes that try to beat him up outside. But he's so angry because nobody want to be with him because he's a Mexican and he don't want to be with his own people. So yeah, he was just there to be a placeholder. That wasn't your real friend, because your real friend wouldn't have put you in that situation. And again, don't be the only dude there. He was the only brown dude at that bar. I'm pretty sure it was a redneck bar somewhere in Florida. I think it was somewhere in Florida. Don't ever be there. No, and a lot of them think because, I have this position that life is perfect. No, you can be a Army vet. You can be a Navy specialist. You can be whatever. You can drive monster trucks for a living. It doesn't matter, bro. Like, y'all stop thinking because you have a certain kind of career or you do a certain kind of thing that you immune to any danger. No, they don't care what you are. You can be the president. You think Barack Obama right now walking to a redneck bar on a Saturday night, you think they wouldn't try to attack him if he didn't have his security with him? You think they wouldn't try to attack him and kill him? Yeah, they gonna do that. So what makes you think? I'm a lawyer, or I'm a doctor. No, it don't matter. The fact that you are not white, it don't matter what. That's the thing about it. You people think I don't have any melanin, or I'll just bleach the hell out of my skin. They know that you're not white, homie, and they're gonna use you and abuse. Like I keep saying, I know y'all like hearing it because it's fucking true. They just gonna use you and abuse you, bro. The fact that you are not white, they don't give a damn about you, and they don't give a damn if you're white anyway. There's so many stories I hear about the damn dad be R&D they own kids, and they getting off scot-free. Think I'm blind? Look it up. It's all online for free. That's the honest truth. So y'all think it don't matter. The fact is that you are not white. And if you are white, they still don't give a damn. I watched the video about a group of cops. It was one of the police officers. He went to a party with his girlfriend, and they killed the dude outside. It was somewhere like in Michigan or something like that. They got into the argument because these dudes, they've been having a problem or whatever for a while. So anyway, they ended up going to this, all police party or whatever. They literally went outside and beat the dude to death. And then they thought that the girlfriend had something to do with it. Anyway, the whole got off or whatever. She got off, but literally, they dropped the case. And come to find out, the cops that he'd been having problems with, they killed him. And it was all white. I'm like, there you go. This is how they are, bro. They just like animalistic like that. So whenever somebody about to take somebody's life, they all just get together and complete the mission, bro. It's just like, it's weird, but that's how they program. And then they'll look the other way, or I didn't see anything, or I don't know what happened. That's how they are, bro. So as soon as you understand that, your life won't be as stressful as it is right now. But never be the only one there. Never be the only one there. But typically when you see people in that situation where they're the only one there, they tend to want to be the only one there because they want that white acceptance. And then of course they can try their best to try to blend in, compared to them having 5 Asians or 6 Mexicans or 6 Africans, you know, with the rest of the white people, because the majority of them are going to be themselves, especially when it's more of them, and that token friend don't want that because they trying to be white. So that's why they do everything they can just to be the only one there. Again, not saying that these young men, that was their situation, but that does happen. So you have a token friend for a reason, and most of the time, that token friend don't want their own people around when they're around white people, because it's gonna be hard for them to try to blend, even if they can, right? Because they know that you're not white, dumbass, but they gonna try it anyway. So they don't want their other group of friends, the friends to come around, or their own people to come around when they're around white people, because they're gonna be themselves, and that token friend is trying to assimilate itself into the white community. So anyway, if you guys know about this, if you know all about the never go hunting with white people thing, if somebody ever told you that, let us know down in the comment section below. But like I said, no one ever told us that. We just knew not to do that. It's just something was off about that whole situation about going hunting with a whole bunch of white people. So that was just like our own instincts. Now, some people don't know about that, but if you come across this video, now you know about it. There's plenty of guys in the comments section in these videos that always been saying is that, yeah, man, when we was growing up, we just knew not to ever go hunting with white people. Now, some people don't know about that, but that's what it is. Like, some people just have that instinct of survival, of common sense. You know, some people have that spider sense, as that's a shame, and some people don't have that. Now, you gotta be aware of that also. Now, some of these guys, they have both of their parents, and they never was taught that. And you have videos about, you know, the guys, like the one guy on the beach, it was other black guys there, and they told him, like, hey, man, be careful if you're gonna go out with him, and he went anyway, you know what I mean? So, they had friends that tried to warn him, but he ended up doing it anyway, and it ended up costing his life. Now, normally you'll get that, you know, when you in a, you know, with a single parent household, you know, they mama, you know, especially if she's black, because normally they want to cater to the white man, so they'll make it seem like everything is great. But outside of that, you know, the typical black mom, they never just teach their kids, you know, how to grow up. They never teach their kids anything, you know what I mean? So that's a sad reality. So whether it had to do with white people or not, it don't matter, because typically the black mom never teach their kids anything about life. They just get older, and then they got to figure it out themselves. So anyway, if you guys watch the video, if you got any comments, let me know down below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you don't accept the Cash App, I really appreciate you. Yeah, until next time.